It's like you felt it through your spirit, through your spine.
We're all good?
That's generational trauma that be happening to black kids when they hear that sound, when they hear that snap, snap.
That's not just black kids.
It's
Let's save that for the episode.
It's triggering.
Give it a clap.
It is generational for black. They say wise men speak because they have something to say.
Yeah, they also say fools speak because they have to say something.
Well,
here we are.
Yeah, we bit that one.
Well.
Relax.
All right, JR, here we go.
Who else is it? It's not generational for anybody else. Nobody got.
Are you kidding me? All right,
who got whipped?
Back.
Who got whipped?
Back, episode
Nobody
9.
else got whipped.
Here we go. We're starting with the fury.
You're crazy.
Talking about getting smacked as kids.
Ay, ay, ay. What's going on, y'all?
Man,
we're back.
We're back.
It's great to be here.
It is great to be back. Talking about that smacking. I mean, I don't know. In my youth, there used to be paddles on my grandfather's wall. These paddles that are on the wall were signed by all these kids. Yeah. So he was a principal at Los Cerritos Elementary School, right? Right down there in South San Francisco. And one of the things that he used to do when the kids would, get in trouble is he used to spank them. He used to have them pick the paddle that he had small, medium, and large. And believe it or not, most of the people picked the small one, which is actually the one that hurt the most. And then he made them sign it and date it.
Yeah,
okay.
He would so go to jail now.
Oh.
How times have changed, right? Like, or just imagine just being a parent in today's day and age, being okay with somebody else whipping your kid, for example. Like anybody, like there's no way in the world that would stand. Like you be ready to go to jail for this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
To fight for your kid not getting spanked by someone else.
Yeah, a lot of my friends. I got some older friends from New Jersey and New York, some older Italian buddies of mine, and they always put emphasis on how much they despise these certain people because they were the ones that were the priests and the nuns when they went to Catholic school. And I know up in there they dealt with a lot of paddling. They used to break kids' fingers with rulers and all that wildness.
Oh yeah, that was a thing. Rulers on your hands.
Yeah. And there's no, I think they found out that wasn't something that was helpful. You know what I mean? It might have scared some people into not doing stuff. If that's what you might think help is, okay, cool. But I don't think that's helpful.
Yeah, I know for me, I've never spanked my daughter.
Yeah, I spanked my kid once when he was 2, and he just looked at me and was like, "No." And after that, I was like, all right, bro, no, it is. Like, that was that, Yeah, man, there's no space for that in this day and age. And a lot of older people will be like, that's the problem. Like, they ain't whooping these kids. Like, yeah, like you gonna whoop kids into like trauma, like whoop kids into like not wanting to like do anything because they're scared. They just have this innate scared feeling within them. So they're like skipping on all types of life's experiences because of it. Their communication's effed up because of it. Can't talk through stuff, all type of stuff. Like, that's not gonna cut it.
Yeah, I don't think putting fear in people is the right way to motivate them.
No. It's a form of an abuse of power, like, that many people find themselves in many different types of relationships in which they come to a point that they can no longer effectively communicate, and it's like, you don't get it, or you're not doing what I want, or whatever the case is, and it's basically an impasse. And instead of that person understanding it's an impasse, they resort to what they think is the next best thing, and that's some type of abuse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So as far as America's culture, right, spanking seems to be a part of America's culture back then.
Yeah, but if you look at it, like I don't see how it wouldn't be when America was founded upon what it was founded upon, like literally, like physically taken away from people, like people like being unalived in mass quantities, children being forced to assimilate to what was quote unquote then the new American way, and all this stuff, and that them getting beaten, like that's how America, I'm sorry to say this, but that's how America as a whole resolves its issues. It's just like even as a country, like when we come to a place that we have a disagreement with somebody and it doesn't there's an impasse and doesn't quite go our way, guess what? We ready to spank something. That's what it is.
I don't like this way of being. This is not something that I choose to deploy.
Yeah, but you have no, like, you and I, we're just very, very small portions in it. We're like cells within a body in America. Like we really don't have much of an influence unless we're ready to crash out and become a martyr. And then somebody might say your name a few more times over history, but eventually you'll be forgotten too.
Yeah. Yeah. So today we're going to dive in a little deeper on the traditions of America and kind of the culture shock that's happening. And we're going to dig in deep into the question, what even is American anymore?
What's crazy is it took a polarizing figure to create a more visible political division.
Are you talking about Donald Trump?
I am. And with that more visible political division, now it's like, oh, damn, you mean there's two Americas? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of us that have already known that there's two Americas. You know what I mean? And it's as simple as going back to the days of the Civil War, right? One side of the country wanted slavery, one side did not. One side won, the other side lost. Does everybody's feelings change with that? No. Some people still stay the same. Nobody goes to jail. Hey, some people think it's wrong. It's a difference of opinion is the fact of the matter. And like that's the divide in our country. It still has some to do with race. It has some to do with other things, but hey, it's there. It's been there. And like, hey, for whatever reason, for whatever figure or whatever reason, it brought it out that other people are starting to be enlightened and more aware about it. I'm glad, because it like I'm tired of being one of the only people that, like, when I talk to people and I talk about the two Americas, people are like, "What are you talking about? Are you serious?" Like, like I'm the only person that sees it this way, or like I'm like some type of conspiracy theorist. Nah, dog. It been like this out here, and in many different
This is an age-old thing. It's like the king in his castle on top of the hill, looking down at all the people that are in his kingdom, right? And knowing that if he gets the people to go back and forth with each other and fight each other, then it takes the focus away from being on him and what he's taking from them or what he's holding over from them, right?
Yes.
And so I believe in our culture, you know, way back when they created the two-party system, they created it to have two sides, to get the two sides going at each other and to divide, right? This division is what allows control to be had, because these two sides are going at it so much that you end up falling into the bucket, right? You're in the bucket of the right side or the left side, right? And that means that you're opposite of the other. And that means that you get around those people, you get into the, what do they call it? When you're in the like bubble, you know, and you hear just those thoughts, and you form your own biases based on what you already believe. And then you only hear those things. And anything that's outside of that, you try to say that that's wrong. But it is a difference of opinion.
Agreed.
You know? So coming in today, you know, some of these talking points to start on, like, America was built on, like, when I was young, I used to think of it, and it was like, you know, baseball was America's pastime, right? Definitely eating hot dogs was a thing. Apple pie, muscle cars,
Hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecues, right?
barbecues.
That's American.
Yeah. You brought up the other day being powerful, right?
Yeah, like America is a symbol of power. You know, whether you agree with it and where it lines up or not, it's a symbol of power recognized all around the world as you know, as far as I know, the superpower. Maybe that's just what they tell us, but as far as I know, that's what it is. You know.
Yeah, and in fact, you know, I'm in marketing and branding, and one of the things that was brought up in one of our get-togethers was how the biggest brand in the world, the most well-known brand in the whole world, is the American flag. Right? This is branded all over the place. It's over there. You'll see flags on shirts. You see flags on hats. You see flags all over the place. And this American flag with the red and blue stripes showing that the two sides, right? And then the stars, which are representative of the 50 states, right? Although there's a bunch of other, what do they call them, colonies?
Yes.
That aren't represented in
colonies,
in the flag.
commonwealths, stuff like that. But see, that's a part of it. Like, it might just start there, the fandom. Okay, like I feel like that's one thing that America suffers from is like fandom, because we have like definitely again the mob mentality where one person runs and everybody runs and then tries to find out later why they're running.
Oh yeah,
you know the thing where a good portion of the population, if you send them a candy bar, you got their vote.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean.
Send them something.
And so with that being said, like if you feel patriotic, like like you're a proud American and you want to represent your country, cool. We're in America. We all know that. You know what I mean? If that's what you're on, cool. But my thing is, when it comes to these political parties, again, the blind following of a political party just because that's what you're affiliated with, as though they can do no wrong, that's where we have always fallen short in America, and that's how we end up decades and decades down the road with all types of problems that have been the same problems that either have not been tried to fix or tried to fix the same way over and over again, as though that is going to do something. And yeah, like again, like for me, who I vote for is my business. Even my political party in itself is my business. When I go vote, I'm in the booth by myself. Nobody knows what happens when after I leave there. And I feel the same way about religion as well. And that's something that, I think we got to be a little more careful with, and a little bit more mindful of, and a little bit more conscious, and like, of other people's stuff. Like why does that have to be on your t-shirt? Like, why do we have to put that on the forefront? Like, why do we have to like do that? Right? Like, we don't introduce ourselves in that way to people.
Yeah. I think with social media and the way that it is such a polarizing thing with the different parties, the different agendas that are out there, people are putting this front and center because they're looking at it and saying, I must identify with something, and I'm forced to make a decision on what I identify as, and I must put it out there and let everybody know that this is how I identify, so that I can sway others to come and see it my way.
That's what it is. And see, for me, it's more of anybody that's a politician that has something to do with something that needs to get done that serves my community, like whatever side on of the fence they're on, like they're going, like I would like to hold them accountable. Like, it's like, let's hold them all accountable, like on both sides of the fence, and like let's put down the this person's this party so they can do no wrong. Like, nah, dude, it doesn't matter if you identify with that party. If they're effing up, and call them on it.
Yeah. That I love that sentiment. I think that's a sentiment that we all get to have. It comes with some, like we spoke about on our last episode, some critical thinking, right? And removing some of the biases that we hold ourselves, and not allowing those to affect our judgment.
Yeah.
And being able to call out things that are just not okay, morally, ethically, having integrity, those kind of things.
Right on. Real quick off topic. I like to give a shout out to somebody, man. I like to give a shout out to all my people over there in Dumaguete City, Philippines, in Negros Oriental, over there in Dumaguete City, over there in Talay, and over there in what's it called, Valencia up there. You guys know who you guys are. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you guys in the Philippines. We love y'all.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. So as we continue down this road, we're talking about how, do you know what globalism is?
Yeah.
So globalism is the operation or planning of economic and foreign policy on a global basis. So economic and foreign policy based on a global basis and doing the planning and operation of it, right? So when we're considering the question, what does American even mean in 2025? This is something that we get to take into consideration.
Yeah, the globalism. If you even say that word, what do you think of when you hear globalism? You think of the world, right?
Yeah.
So you got to wonder if this is all one agenda, who wants this, and who benefits from it?
That's the question that
And
comes
then
to my mind. But I don't know
there's
necessarily
many.
know the answer.
I could tell you.
You have an opinion, is what I understand.
Very strong one, very, very good. But with that, I'm not going to get deep into. But what I will get into is we cannot barely do great as a country, right? And many states within that country, they have independence. And many of them cannot do well on their own, right? Mm-hmm. So what makes anyone think that we can get it all together and everyone be together and everyone do the same thing and it'd be right?
Yeah, everybody's different. Every country has different
What
beliefs.
I'm trying to say is they can't like people can't get it together on a small level. Like, what do you think globalism as a whole is going to do if something like that is truly established? Like, it's already in the financial space. It's already in certain spaces. Globalism already is very strong in existence. But as a whole, like, they know the people going to fight that. You know what I mean? So
what is American?
That might all depend on who you ask.
Well, the term American, when you look it up, it's either a native or a citizen of America or relating to a characteristic of the United States or its inhabitants.
So with that being said, like, does everybody in America feel like an American?
That's kind of crazy because I see in America, I've seen all these different flags. You know?
But there are also many disenfranchised groups, though, from America, within America, that do not feel accepted by America. That's where
and they're going out with their home country's flag in America. But they may be Americans. And they're definitely doing this in America.
That's a pride. It's a pride thing, you know?
Yeah, so it just seems kind of weird, right? We say, what's it feel like to be an American, right? And for me, I mean, I grew up here. I consider myself a Native American. I'm a native
American
here in America, right? And Californian, right? And for me, that's all I've ever known was to be what I call an American. So everything I do is from what I think an American perspective. Now, it might be different than someone else that thinks I'm American and I have the same upbringing, growing up here in America, born in America, but they look at things differently, right? A thing that comes to my mind is like things have changed. No longer is just baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie, muscle cars considered American, right? Now it's like a whole new experience. It's TikTok trends, Uber Eats, Kanye West, NFTs, soccer moms doing mukbangs. Like,
to go back to what you're saying about like being an American, like myself, like I accept being an American. You know, I love being an American. And if somebody came over here, like I'd be willing to die for America, right? But just because of all of those things, it does not dismiss, like, it is, as far as I know, the greatest country in the world, as far as I know, you know, but there's displeasure that people have with things, even if they're American. You know what I mean?
I mean, I could see that a lot of people nowadays are frustrated with America and how it's been evolving. I definitely see that happening all over the place. Even myself, I have frustrations with society and what we accept and what's okay in our world.
Yeah.
Even though we have laws, how they are enforced and what actually happens is a totally different experience. And it's definitely, I think there's a lot of people that are frustrated with this right now. I think it's becoming more and more where people are divided, frustrated, and literally on every side, everybody's frustrated. And I think in my head, the only way that happens is if it's an overall plan. You know, why else would everybody be so disenfranchised, so against each other, unless it's the king on top of the castle that is trying to make everybody else focused on each other and hating each other and fighting with each other instead of looking at what the king's doing. Yeah. And so I don't know what oligarchs or overall control factors that we have, which, you know, could be big corporations or, you know, these wealthy family heritages that funded banks and, you know, the whole thing. I don't know if they're on top of it. And it seems like there's an aspect of unknown that is there that is, it seems like it's starting to come out in the open and people are starting to talk about it.
Yeah, what's interesting is how tech has enabled some people to make astronomical amounts of money that are not connected to these families. You know, like, so these power families that, you know, have been over here in America since day one, like, you know, controlling all of the commodities and the railroads and, you know,
oil,
all these different, that falls under commodities.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Like, it's a trip how, you know, you got a couple people like a Gates, a Elon, or this guy or that guy who are not, you know, who doesn't necessarily fall under that category, but they got the power.
Yeah.
You know, they got that shift in the paradigm, and that's why a lot of those people don't like those guys too. You know what I mean? Because they talk about some stuff that they don't want everyone else to know that benefits them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dig in on some specific examples of how American identity has been shifting. Let's dig in on that.
American identity, huh? What do you have in mind?
Well, let's just start here. So we spoke about baseball being America's pastime, right? Now, so that's like old school America. Baseball is America's pastime, right? Well, in 2025 in America, NBA it's global. This is not just an American thing. This is global. NBA is global. And the faces of the NBA, the faces of the league, are actually international players.
In the NBA now, yeah.
Yeah, so Giannis, right? He's from Greece.
So
right?
to even
He's
go
Greek.
to go even back before that, like when we grew up, it was like it had come into the time where like most of the it was just mostly American, right? It was black and it was white. When it first started, the NBA it was white.
Yeah. And then
they started dropping the raisins into the rice bowl, and they were like, "Yo,
the raisins into the rice bowl."
yo," they were like, "Yo, this is real. We're gonna keep dropping them in." And here we are today.
Well, it took it to the next level because people started dunking.
Yeah, yeah.
And it got exciting. I mean, let's face it.
I mean, you got your Larry Birds, you got your white chocolates, you got your couple guys that really laid it down. But I mean, the sport kind of went black.
I heard you say white chocolate, and I just think of Jason Williams, man.
That's white chocolate.
That's white chocolate.
That's white chocolate, and he's
a podcaster too.
Yeah, but he's
I've
raw.
seen him out there.
As a baller, come on, bro, it was raw.
Oh man,
as raw as anybody else was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was.
Shout out white chocolate, man.
Yeah. So, but back to some of these, how it's global now. Luka, he's probably the best player in the NBA now, right? And he's from Slovenia, of all places.
That's crazy. All these kids know is international basketball now. When they watch the NBA, that's all
Wemby.
they know.
Have you seen Wemby?
Oh yeah.
He's built like you are, man.
Nah, he ain't. That guy's.
He's even taller.
He's way up
He's
there.
even skinnier.
Yeah, he's way.
He's more limber, if you can imagine.
He's built different.
Yeah.
Interesting young man, though.
Yeah, but he's from France, right?
Yeah.
And so we're really seeing that there's a global aspect of the NBA. And then when they come into the Olympics, it's like all these, then they go play for their home country.
Represent.
Right? Yeah, they come here to make money. But then
they still from where they from.
Exactly, right? So old school America, NFL, right? The NFL used to mean rough. It used to be a blue collar kind of sport, right? A blue collar kind of feeling.
When we grew up, baseball and football professionally, like everybody was on steroids and narcotics. So it just made for like another level of entertainment. Like, you know what I mean? Like these guys were out there like, yeah, like, bro, they were going ham. Like, you remember Lyle Alzado? Do you remember Lyle Alzado? He played for Oakland Raiders. He was an absolute killer. He was the most feared man in the NFL.
I try to avoid the Raiders at all costs.
Oh, man, why you starting this stuff up here, man? You see what I'm saying? Knowing all these friends we got that are Raider fans,
I
bro.
know. I've been to Raiders games. In
why
fact,
you doing this, bro?
One of my most favorite games I ever went to was a Raiders game when my buddy, rest in peace, Johnny Mack, goes, "You're coming with me to the Raiders game.
That's crazy.
And you must dress up because that's what we do." And he had me dress up with face paint, the whole thing, because everybody, that's what we did. And I got to say, it was probably the most enjoyable football game I've ever been to. Yeah, they got their butt kicked, but it was a lot of fun.
What's crazy is R.I.P. Johnny Mack. I got a brother named Johnny Mack that died too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro. When you said R.I.P. Johnny Mack, I was like, he knows Johnny Mack? How you know Johnny Mack? Different Johnny Mack, obviously.
Well, maybe.
That's a wild one. But yeah, man. Sports has taken quite a turn since we were young.
Well, the NFL shifted into entertainment and pop culture fusion, right? Essentially, the Taylor Swift effect, right? I mean, NFL saw 400,000 plus female fans in the last couple years from Taylor Swift dating
Travis Kelce?
Yeah.
I wonder what that's about. Is that legit though, dude? I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Like,
the Swifties are a pretty big force, man.
I know they are.
They're a pretty big force.
But I just question the legitimacy of their fandom of football, brother. That's all.
Well, okay, so let's go to the MLB, right?
Yeah, but hold on. Before that, what I don't like though is how they be letting these dudes in the NBA like come to the games dressing however they want now. It was like a.
Yeah, you used to have to be suited and booted to go in there. You had to
before
look,
that,
right?
in the 90s, it was like it wasn't like that. They decided to do that because these guys was getting too off the chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Dennis Rodman pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Big fur, big hat. You know, doing his thing. You know, that's not a what is it? That is not a representation.
He was flamboyant.
He was off the chain, right? And so now you got these guys pulling up. I don't know, bruh. They're not kilts. They look like the skirts that the girls be wearing when they play tennis. They be wearing all type of stuff that they pull up in. I
haven't seen that, man.
Bro, you haven't seen? Bro, LeBron wore a skirt, bro.
I try not to look at LeBron.
I'm just saying, like these guys are like dressing like real different, like real outside of the box with it. Like this is a Met Gala on the way to like, like, bro, this is your game, bro. Tighten up, bro. Like, what you guys? Like,
are they doing it for attention? Nah, like, why are they doing it?
I think they think that their fashion sense is hot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what's hot to them. So,
do they get more likes because they did it?
Bro,
do they get more attention on their socials? To be honest
with you, I'm not following not one of them, so I couldn't tell you if that benefits them at all. And maybe if somebody got suited and booted and like you know conducted themselves with parliamentary procedure, I might follow one of them. I don't know.
So, in the MLB, local heroes and American pride was a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the highest paid player is Ohtani.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, and he's from Japan, right? $700 million contract.
We had to see this coming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's legit.
I'm just saying, just with baseball in general in Japan, like, Japan turned up on baseball, bro. And
yeah.
Like, y'all, don't forget Hideo Nomo.
Oh, I remember him. The way he pitched and he turned, you know, his whole back to the,
bro.
It was insane.
That's what I'm saying. Don't forget Hideo Nomo.
That's when it started.
Yep.
So food, right? Mom and pop diners. That was like the heartbeat of America, right? You go to mom and pop diners and all this stuff.
Yeah, I still think depending on where you are in the country, it still might be though. They're still very big in Florida. You know, there's still many diners in Florida, all throughout Middle America, through the South. You know, I think probably just like out here, we probably strayed away from it a little bit because.
Well, it's the culture. There's no doubt is independent, locally owned, privately owned places to go eat.
So
right?
that it's changed from those mom and pop diners to farm to table restaurants.
Yes.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Right. And to like an influencer based ghost kitchen or DoorDash brands.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's kind of sad in a way. Like you got some of these guys that are guys and gals that are food critics.
There you go.
That are holding people hostage that will make or break you in this day and age. And like that, like their opinion might not really be what it is.
Well,
you
it's
know what
about
I mean?
Instagrammable food pictures and videos based on those critics that have a huge following.
I forget what the dude's name was. This kid, he's a black kid. Like he's probably, I say kid. He's probably like 30. But in his 20s, 30. He's very big in the food game. And he went to San Francisco to go review some spots.
Uh-huh.
And like I think he was like going into the first place that he went to or something. I forgot where he went to, but wherever he went to, he came outside and they bipped him and took everything.
What do you mean bipped him?
Oh, bro, you were from the Bay Area. Oh man.
No, I have an idea, but it's for our listeners, man.
Bipping. All right, y'all. Y'all go on YouTube and look up Bipping, Bipping. It's like something that started in San Francisco. They say a car gets bipped in San Francisco every 15 seconds. So a bipping is when somebody walks up to a car window and smashes the car window and removes everything from the car. And bipping is something that is in essence like become like a full-time career for people because you got fences that buy all type of stuff So you got kids that are like, you know, be out there bipping, trying to steal laptops. You got other people that's following people from the airport to see if they stop somewhere before they go to their hotel to take all their everything. Like, hey, look, if you come to San Francisco, like, yeah, put your stuff away first. Don't leave no bags in the car. Like, that's real square stuff anyway. If you got any kind of street smarts, you don't leave no bag in the car.
Well, I've seen people in San Francisco now, they just leave their doors unlocked.
Oh, no, windows down, signs
They're like
signs on the window stating
nothing in
there's
here.
Nothing in here. Please do not break my window. All that. Yeah. So so the kid got bipped, and he went hard on the Bay after that. He was like, "Yo, I'm never going out there to the Bay. I would never recommend nobody to go out there to the Bay." Like, yeah, he butchered the Bay, bro.
Oh,
but he should have. In my opinion, bro. You should, like, when you go somewhere, bro. Like, you gotta kind of have an idea where you're at. Like, look, Chicago, right? You're not gonna just knowing Chicago is Chirac. You're gonna want to know where in Chicago you're going to, right? I'm not going to Chirac, am I? Right? I'm not gonna go to a war zone, am I?
Chirac. Oh my, what?
You see, look, and the thing is, hey, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry for my brother. That's what's crazy. You guys know everything what I'm talking about right now. So Chirac, that's a whole nother thing. That's the whole world knows Chirac. Chirac was made a coin. The coin was termed by DJ academics. Chirac, like, literally is a war zone. Like, that stuff I be telling you about, that drilling music where these kids are rapping about killing each other and like up in the score on all that. That is all real life in those communities out there. That's what I'm telling you. So when that kid came out to the city, see, here's what you know: you're a good dude, and you grew up around some people that weren't so good though.
Yeah.
But you was cool with everybody. But you know San Francisco, right? When everybody else hears San Francisco, what they think is not what you know about San Francisco. You know where not to go in the city, though.
Oh, that's for sure.
Ain't that right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you go somewhere, you kind of got to.
Well, it doesn't say that on Google Maps. It doesn't say I shouldn't go to this spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't say on Waze, hey, avoid these areas.
San Francisco always being one of the top 3 tourist destinations in the world, right? Like, tourism being a big part of its income.
Yeah.
You're not going to see those things, right? You're going to see them on local news. But you think them other people, they don't be seeing that. Now people are seeing it.
They got to keep the money coming in.
Now people are seeing it on TikTok, though. TikTok will teach you some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the American dream. Remember the American dream for years? It was like, own your house with a white picket fence,
dog, 2 kids,
family, a local job, right?
Yeah.
It's the American dream, right? Now, remote work, digital nomads, kids want to be YouTube podcasters, right?
I was going through something yesterday because I was talking to this lady that I know. She's a parent. She was like, yeah, I'm just trying to find a job. And I was like, in my head, I was like, damn, we're in the Bay Area. I was like, there's hella jobs, right? And I was sitting there listening to her. Like, I was trying not to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to be like, yeah, but there's hella jobs. But she was like, yeah, they don't want to hire anybody remote. And that's when I was like,
oh, because you don't want an actual job where you have to show up every day.
She want to work from home. So it's like, hey, the pandemic was great for a lot of people. You know what I mean? And a lot of businesses as well, you know, with no cost of overhead, you know, all these things. But at this point in time, when you got people that have 3 hours of work that are charging you 8 for it and you can't prove it, look, we need you back in the office.
Oh, yeah.
We need you back in the office. We need that visibility. We need that transparency. We need to count. We need to count everything. We need to make sure. Yeah, that's what's going on right now.
Yeah. So how about back in the day, America was like Ford and Chevy, right? We're all about cars and all this stuff, right? That was like a big thing. Like, I remember, you know, my first car was a 66 Nova Super Sport, right? And then I went down the Mustang roads and got the whole 5.0s and the Salines and the Cobras and these things, right? And now what you see is Tesla, Rivian, Cybertrucks, right?
I haven't been out in a while. Like I haven't been like out of state for a minute.
And see if it's the same.
Yeah, the last time I was out and about, I was in like Montana. There was a few Teslas, but like I'm really feeling like we're like like again
in California.
Yeah, we're OD'd on Teslas out here. There's so many, bro.
In my community here in California, is like you go around. There's people with 2-3 Teslas in front of their houses. Like
that's the Me Too. The car, that's the Me Too. Like everybody got that Me Too. Like the Tesla's the Me Too car.
Gotcha.
But you know, I cannot think like. First, I'll never buy. Look, I've had 9 Fox bodies, like Mustangs, right?
Yeah.
I'll never buy another Ford again. I love Mustangs, but I cannot hear the name Ford without thinking about Henry Ford being a Nazi. But anyway,
after that segment that we did and all this,
I mean, bro, Henry Ford was a Nazi, bro. He financed Hitler. Like, I'm going to keep saying it every time. I'm going to remind you guys that Henry Ford financed Hitler and that he authored an anti-Semitic book called The International Jew. Check it out. Real.
Yeah. It's funny how we're learning now. I guess it ain't funny, but how we're learning now the stuff that we learned back then, that we built what we knew on, and now we're learning what we learned was actually from a place that is not okay in our minds nowadays.
Yeah, but we got the winner's history though, so it's good.
Yeah, that's how it works, right? Whoever wins gets to write
the story.
The story. Yeah. So back in the day, it used to be Blockbuster Friday nights. You remember going to Blockbuster? And you go around the...
I remember Blockbuster and Hollywood Video.
Oh, Hollywood Video too.
You remember Hollywood Video?
Yeah, heck yeah.
So look, let's go down this rabbit hole. So when we were young, they had these things. They was about this big. They were black. You put them inside this big box. You push play. They were called VHS tapes, man. They were huge, bro. Like, and like most people needed, like if you had a big VHS collection, you probably needed a room.
Oh yeah,
because they were just huge. And then we went to DVDs. Like it took a long time, like to get to DVDs.
Yeah.
And we got DVDs for those of youngsters who ain't never seen one. CDs that play video, right? And yeah.
But now we're on MP3s. Now we're on just streaming.
We're streaming now, bro.
Now we're just streaming.
We're not no. You don't need a device now. You've got a smart TV. Your TV does it all. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy, man.
So how about religion, right? Back in the day, it used to be, everybody went to church. They wore their Sunday best, right?
I'm noticing a pattern with these topics within this is that everything is like the religion thing, that nobody's going to church. That's another thing that was greatly impacted by the pandemic. Like people was like, yo, y'all wasn't really trying to fight this. Like for those of us that wanted to go to church because we were scared to death and like we needed faith because we don't have it. Like we don't have the spiritual relationship like, some other people do. We needed to go tap in, and y'all wasn't fighting our First Amendment right to worship for us. We ain't going back to church.
Well, they just do it from home now.
A lot of people did. Some.
Some people gave it up.
Some people was just like, I can't believe this. Like that made some people lose faith.
Oh yeah,
because some people believe in the church.
Yeah, people became spiritual but not religious.
Some, if they were lucky, if they were blessed enough to do that. That's serious stuff, man.
So weekly church attendance became the lowest in American history. But CoStar, an astrology app, has 20 million users.
That's crazy. It's very interesting. But religion is the same. I hold the religion in the same place as the politics, you know, like on the inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. No need to introduce myself as a Christian or a Muslim or anything else. Just give you my name and tell you it's nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because when you're so outside with like with religion or politics, it's just like, it's so off-putting. even if you're the same thing, if you're like a person that's like a sensible person, like you'll be like, dude, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, why are you shoving this on me? Why are you pushing this on
I
me?
believe in the same thing you do, but why? Like, why are you doing this?
Why
like,
are we having this conversation where we can just be in the moment?
The crazy thing is the disconnect for those people that don't understand that that's the effect that they may or may not be having on somebody, right? It's just like, it's either a lack of consideration or they just don't give a F. It's like, yo, you want like campaign's over.
Well, I believe they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, but there's no campaign there. What I'm saying is there's no campaigning. Like, what is the end result with this? You think you're gonna convert some people or something?
Yeah, that's the whole thing,
bro. People is gonna think what they're gonna think.
A bunch of religions are based on spreading the word, right? Mm-hmm. So based on spreading the word, it's your job to go out and spread the word. I mean.
Yeah, but to what I know of that, like, it's your job to spread it to who's looking for it.
Yeah. And just like I have friends who are Jehovah's Witnesses, they go knock on doors, right? This is like the classic thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you know what they also do? They take note of every single door that said, no, it's not okay. I'm not interested. Don't come back.
No, thank you.
They put it down so they know not to knock on that door again. Right?
That's dope. What I like the Mormons, because the Mormons will pull up. The Mormons will pull up in the hood, get off their bicycles, take off their helmets, and play ball in the hood. Like the Mormons.
You told me about these guys,
bro.
Man.
The Mormons are ballers, bro. Like the Mormon kids, look. That you gonna see on YouTube, there's many videos out there, but I've seen it in person because I used to play basketball all over the place. Yeah, they pull up on their bikes, bro, and with since you haven't seen it, let me tell you, they be wearing khakis, bro, or they wearing some type of dress pants with a button down shirt, bro.
And they show up and ball?
They show up and lay it. Not only do they ball it, a lot of the times them boys can ball. They lay it down like a bunch of white chocolates out there running around like in the Mormon community. Like they be getting it in.
Wow.
And so I really respect that. Like if somebody after balling wants to have a conversation, then that's how they do it though. But look what they're doing. They showing a gesture of good faith first.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to the Mormon boys that's out there balling, putting in that work.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the only guy I've seen show up like that is the professor.
Oh, there's a lot of them, bro. Hey, I'm telling you, bro.
He's showing up wearing some khakis.
Later, you look it up, you're gonna be like, you won't believe it, bro. I'm telling you, it's a phenomenon. A lot of people know about this. What I'm talking about, like the hood, the whole hood knows about this.
Is this like was this started by White Men Can't Jump?
Nah, bro. The Mormons. They
I think the Mormons because he's the cracker.
That story might have came from the Mormons. Like I'm telling you, the Mormons been out here doing this since forever, since before I was balling. Like, yeah.
Wow.
It's like it's getting more like notoriety because, social media and people got cameras everywhere. But nah, these guys is off the chain, man.
So talking about some of our, the differences that we've had growing up, right? Different cultural, aspects. For me, I grew up Italian American, right? Loud family, definitely not afraid to argue or to have differences of opinions with one another. I remember growing up and they'd be going at it, man. And I was the kid that I didn't like this confrontation. I didn't like how all my elders were always what I saw as
going at each other's throats.
Man, that's literally the words I was going to use, right? And so I'd see it and they would get heated because often there was, drinking of some wine involved as well, right? And so the later the night went, as we had our family get-togethers, usually at our family's ranch, the more heated it got. Until at some point, it was like someone just goes, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to bed, And the good thing about my family is when we woke up in the morning, it was like
nothing ever happened.
Yeah, we start from scratch again.
Crazy.
Start from scratch again. In my family, definitely food was like a big thing. unfortunately, we ate lots of pizza, lots of bread, lots of pasta. That's what it was all about. And I've learned now my body is not supposed to eat these things, right? But that's what it was, right?
You're talking about big Italian family style food that I didn't get to experience for the first time until I ate at Mortorano's in Fort Lauderdale. Shout out to Steve and Debbie Mortorano. Yeah, Mortorano's, bro. It's the best Italian food in a restaurant that I've had.
Is it still around?
Oh, yeah. I think they opened up one. I know they did. They opened up one in the MGM Grand as well in Vegas.
Really?
Mortorano's. Get with it. Huh. Hey, fire. So Mortorano's, check out Mortorano's, all right? Mortorano's was so gangster. When I first started going there, I went there with that guy that I be telling you about that I used to work for that I don't like to talk about too much because of who he is. We went over there to Mortorano's and like big family style. So Mortorano's, you're in there. The whole time you're in there, they're playing like Goodfellas or Casino like on all the TVs.
Nice.
While you're eating, but there's a live DJ though, so that like you can see the movie, but you're hearing the music. It's going down up in there, right? And then when the pivotal moments of the movies come up, the DJ silences the music and they turn up.
Oh wow.
The gangster shit. And when I first started going to Mortorano's.
So let me just get this straight. So the music's playing, everybody's having a good time, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you think I'm a funny guy?
Yeah. What's so funny about me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and after that, the scene goes and it goes back regular. But like I say, when I first started going to Mortorano's, Steve Mortorano, man, Steve is a real one, man. And Debbie, I don't even know if they still together. I don't know what's going on with them, but they were good people. But when you went into Mortorano's, bruh, you just better have your money right. Because at that point in time, when you went into Mortorano's and you looked at the menu, there was no prices on the menu.
This just sounds weird.
And at
you
the
said
end,
you better have your money right because when you go in, there's no prices on the menu. So what does this even mean?
Means when the meal's over, they look at you and decide what they're gonna charge you.
What?
May God strike me dead. Anybody that was around Fort Lauderdale at that time, everybody, look, y'all know what it is. They got prices on the menu now. Yeah.
Of course they do now.
Yeah. No, but they didn't have prices on the menu, dog, because it was gangster like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out Big Dog, man. I ain't even gonna say, man. We ain't even gonna start getting into names, man. I'm telling you, bro, the people that brought me over there, man.
You're gonna have to bring up names at some point, but here we go. So, tough love and loyalty, right? Definitely were different sides of the family, right? There were sides of the family that were like so tough on us, especially me and my brother. We're the only ones that it was two boys, right?
Hold on. When we sat down and ate, it wasn't like that.
You mean your family dinners, your get-togethers?
Yeah, your family dinners and my family dinners was not the same.
Well, how were yours? First of all, what kind of food did you guys eat?
So from the time I was a baby to the time I was 8, I was with my grandparents mostly.
Yeah.
And we ate some real country soul food, man, like black eyed peas and ham hocks,
Yeah.
greens, the mac and cheese. My grandma was country. She made, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but have you ever heard of hog's head cheese?
I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's literally made out of a pig's head. Yeah, and there's many stories behind that, but it was just like I think it was strange for me because like two of my my aunt and my uncle they have mental disability.
Okay.
So it would be like me and my brother and my aunt and my uncle and my grandparents at the table, and I always felt like it was just like awkward. Like I love my family, but and it didn't feel like normal. I wanted to be with my dad, When we finally went and be with my dad, it was off the chain. Like dinner was like a movie, dog. Like we were doing it big all the time. Like anything, like eating. My dad is like a person that is like, he lived life like it's the last day every day.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was cool. It was a different type of experience, like having a TV in the kitchen, like watching TV while we're eating, like, you know.
But you guys actually sat at the table?
Yeah. True story. One time I was sitting there at the table eating breakfast. My dad was here. My brother was here. My uncle was here. And his two friends were right here in front of me, right? They was on the TV talking about some guy who just killed some guy in North Beach who shot the guy dead, right? And they show his picture on the TV, right? And I was watching, and I looked like this, and the guy was sitting at my table eating breakfast with us.
The guy that just unalived somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yes. His name was Giovanni. And I'm sure
it's not Italian.
Right. And my uncle's like right-hand man was named John Burns, and he was locked in North Beach. These guys loved my uncle, but yeah, this type of weird, like, yeah, but yeah, different.
Yeah, that's different. But what I heard was you guys still ate at the table together.
Yeah, looking back on it now that I have a family, though, like it was my family, but like my family was not like, my family was a little different. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, every family's different.
But we were a family, though.
So I will say how things have changed from the past to now. Man, it's pulling teeth to get everybody to sit at the table together, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's got their own thing going on. It's not a huge thing as it was once, where it's dinner time. Now's the time that we all sit together. We share stories of our day. We talk about stuff together. We eat together. We break bread, right? That used to be the thing, at least what I assumed, in America in most households. I don't know if it's a global thing. I would assume it probably is, that families eat together, right? And it's definitely evolved in today's society where I don't think it's happening as much like that.
A lot more single parents.
Yep.
What else do you think could be causing that?
Differences in how everybody eats.
Yeah, in my house, I do.
I've been to your house. It's like your dad eats a certain way.
I do 95% of the cooking in the house.
Yeah.
Everyone eats something different in the house.
Yeah, we don't just cook a meal and we all eat it.
Sometimes we get to do this, but most of the time it's like I'm giving you what you like. I'm giving you what you like. Like,
well, me growing up,
you can't cook them all at the same time.
No, but growing up, if we didn't like something, it was, well, that's your dinner.
Yeah,
so if you don't eat it,
that was not mine.
Yeah,
mine was, if you don't like it, don't eat it.
Yeah,
that was my dad. My dad was like, if you don't like it, don't eat it.
Yeah, but you ain't getting something else.
Nah, I got something else.
Oh, you got something else?
Yeah, my dad was like, it don't make sense to get like why? It's pointless. See, there's some things about my dad that's really smart. I didn't understand.
I wouldn't have.
You wouldn't have expected that, right? From him of all people. But he was like, yo, if you don't like it, don't eat it. Go find something else to eat. You know what I mean? Why starve? You know what I mean? Why be hungry? If you don't want to eat it, don't eat it. Why be unhappy eating something? That is create a different type of thing there, energy-wise.
So I don't know if this happened around you and your family, but it was definitely something that happened around mine. My mom would see some of my friends and some of the people that I bring over, right? She'd be like, oh, they're too skinny. And she'd try to, like, continue feeding them until they tap out.
That's an Italian thing.
It is, right?
Yeah. Shout out Al Certo, man. Rest in peace, Al Certo. When I first started boxing up in New Jersey, when he met me, he was like, we got to put some meat on your bones. He's like, you come here.
Good luck.
So Al had a tailor shop and a restaurant in one building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was a wise guy. And Al would be like, anytime you want something to eat, you come here and they'll give it to you, whatever you want. When he comes here and asks for his chicken carbonara, you make sure you give him extra prosciutto. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That was my guy.
Yeah.
They will try.
I've definitely, food was related to love in my family. That's what I'd say.
Us too.
And it's still, to this day, my mom gets some of her self-worth based on cooking for people.
Me too.
I think, it's not just my mom. I think everybody does.
I love cooking for people, man.
Yeah.
The more, the better. The more people that can taste my food, the better.
Well, still to this day, I have not had brisket as good as when I went to your house years ago and you made brisket.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Most people,
I've been waiting for the next time.
People be afraid of that smoke. Got to put that good 24 to 30 hours on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to.
That thing was fire.
Got a couple secrets, but yeah. Thank you.
So how does, the overlap between your upbringing, different cultures you're a part of, and then cultures like myself, and some of the overlaps and some of the disciplines?
I would believe there to be many similarities between, me, I'm a multicultural person, but I was raised primarily with, I have a problem even saying this because I don't believe it to be I don't believe it to be a thing that is something that's widely recognized by all black people. I don't believe there's a such thing as a quote unquote black culture that we all agree is a black culture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
So, but I see many similarities. You know what I mean? In the people and in different traditions that they do and different ways that they love certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what are some of them?
Church.
Yeah.
So you have in a lot of Italians are Catholics.
Yeah.
A lot of depending on where black people are from, but in the South, a lot of them are AME, African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Okay.
And the church is very strongly rooted in these communities for both of them. Don't miss it. Primarily, at least when they're growing up, they don't miss going to church on Sundays. A big part of the family. The big dinners with the families. Big family style gatherings, eating, things of this nature. Storytelling as well. Because both of these groups are immigrant. Both of them not come from here. Yeah. Only so many generations have been here. As of right now, probably less generations have been born here than was here before that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different influences I see within both. The respecting of and the uplifting of the elders, the hierarchical, depending on the family, some is patriarchal, some is matriarchal,
So respect for your elders.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing in my world.
That's something too. So you see how you could be like, I'm gonna say it, bro, and people could feel how they want to feel, but the facts is the facts. This is a stereotype that I'm about to say, but it is what it is. Black kids ain't talking back like that to their parents, bro. Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, that incites violence.
So them talking back to their parents incites violence.
Yeah, so right now, for example, because of the time period that we're in, it's a lot less kids getting hit by parents. But like some people don't give. Some people are like, yeah, I'll be damned, and that's out. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and yeah, and that creates a lot of
Well, we didn't talk back to our parents
outside
either.
of the house though. Outside of the house, that creates rebellion. No, I did, because my dad taught me to always question authority.
Yeah.
So he was authority. So
you
guess what? Yeah, that's how I become a man, you know.
Yeah.
Is by doing this. There's never a time where, most of the time I can be quiet. I can reserve myself. But if sometimes my passion overwhelms that, because something I feel about something is so wrong, I have to say something.
I've seen that in you a few times.
Yeah. But that's a necessary thing for you to be able to do, to be assertive when you need to be assertive, to tell somebody, nah, man, that ain't right.
Yeah.
You know? If not, you cannot be a stand-up person. You know what I mean? You can be a stand-up person, but not a stand-out person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Somebody that people know is willing to go the extra mile for the right thing. You know what I mean?
So what about discipline? Do you think it was in your culture and how you're raised, everybody was extremely disciplined? Or were you fairly lackadaisical?
Me, we were disciplined because of my dad.
Yeah, I mean, you've been through a lot.
Yeah. Like, it's like now I'm 43 years old, bro, and it's like sometimes now I'm starting to barely understand some more things about my dad, man. Just about how he thinks and where he comes from, you know. But yeah, my dad, we do our thing, you know. We talk and we work things out, and I got disciplined in the weirdest ways, bro. Like, I have to like write the dictionary, bro.
Wait, so you did something that probably wasn't your best.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh man, instead of grounding you, he's like,
I don't even know what that means. I've never been grounded.
Okay.
Like you gotta understand something. Like, go to your room. You're grounded. Like, I got everything I want in my room.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? That's why people don't realize.
Well, no, for me it was go to your room.
You can't go somewhere.
You're grounded, and you can't play Nintendo.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pop your head in here every 10 minutes to make sure I'm not playing Nintendo, though.
That's they took the controllers, man.
Oh, they did you like that?
Well, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
I mean,
you must have violated before.
Well, yeah.
You was untrustworthy.
When you push the limits, then they're like, nah, we mean it. Take your controllers. Now we know you're not going to play.
Dude would be like, write the dictionary.
Is that why you want a spelling bee?
Yeah. So literally, though, like,
I don't even know how you did that.
Write the dictionary, though. Like, go in there, write the word, read the definition, write the definition, and then read the word and the definition. And just go. Like, don't be picking random words and flipping pages. Just go.
So how do you not write nowadays?
That's different. Copying is different from creative writing.
No, but literally, from what I know of you, writing something down is like, this is not Nathan.
Mm-mm.
Nathan will do anything to avoid any kind of writing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is this like part of your trauma?
No. Because I did not have a choice in that. It's like, you cannot go anywhere. You don't have a choice of nothing distracting to look around. Now you're gonna sit there and write this dictionary, bro.
So, what is the definition of illiterate?
Illiterate?
Yeah.
Is someone who cannot read or write, correct?
Is it or and?
I think it's
read
or.
and write.
Read and. It's and. Is it?
I'm pretty sure it's and.
Okay.
Yeah. So Nathan, I love you, bro. You're semi-illiterate. Because you don't write, bro.
I can write, but like
in the last 10 years, I haven't seen you write anything.
My problem is when I actually want to write something that comes from here.
Yeah.
Like it falls short fast, bro. It falls flat.
I gotta know. Do you write if you were to write, would you write in cursive?
No way.
No.
I got one of my brothers that has been locked up for a minute, bro, and I just got his address, like where he's at a few months ago, and I want to write him hella bad, bro, but I haven't done it. Like,
because you have a block on writing.
Yeah,
like,
I'm literally gonna write. I'm literally gonna write a few words on it and like put my phone number on there and like send it to him, bro, and a picture of me, bro. Like, because I'm not we'll chop it up on the phone, bro.
Yeah,
but I'm not like doing all that because it's just for me. It's not worth what I go through.
Well, it's one of the biggest life's like showing somebody that you care about them to
I've been in that situation, right? Where it's like, yeah,
when you get that letter,
them letters are great. You feel me? Yeah. That mail call ain't nothing like that mail call. When they say your name, you're like, huh? Me? Oh. Walk up to the front, grab your mail. You feel me? Yeah, that's a good feeling. But
so I will tell one story. I usually don't get deep into the stories that like put myself out there, some of the bad things that I've done, right?
Uh-oh.
But I remember a thing that happened. And this is concerning my little bro.
Uh-oh.
And little bro was always kind of like the troublemaker where, you know, I just wasn't the troublemaker.
Man, he's a fun-loving guy, bro.
Yeah, he is. But
he's just a fun-loving guy.
He used to get in trouble, and I forget exactly how
Shout
old.
out Nick Biaggi, man.
But
my boy, man.
I think I was probably like 13 or 14. We're probably at Parkway at the time.
Oh, Lord.
And I remember Nick was just on my nerves, man. So I remember, I just figured out what weed was.
Uh-oh.
You know, like I seen people around school with it and all this stuff, right? So I just remember Nick just like, you know, he used to get all the attention because he was bad, right? So I was like, I went into the cupboard and I grabbed a Ziploc bag and some oregano.
Oh.
And I put it in there. Oh. And, man, I'm not proud of this. But
dirty dog.
So I went and said, Dad, look what I found in Nick's drawer. Yeah, I did that. Dad got all mad. And so he went, and of course, Nick's like, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is, right? Spanked him, right? My dad did.
You're
spank
over there
us.
like.
Yeah, exactly. I was, and then at some point, my dad, you know,
opened it. He's like, let me see what this is actually. What's this about?
He opened it and realized it was oregano. I was like, Anthony. I'm in my room and I'm like, oh no. Like, I could tell he was pissed, right? I hear him stomping around, dude.
He's looking.
Where, Lori, where is he? Where's, he's in his room. So I was like freaking out. So what I did is I went and got a book. I put it in my underwear. He comes in and he grabs me, he goes, bend over and smack. Hit his hand right on my ass. But I had a book there. I remember he looked at me, his eyes, bro, was like enraged. He looked at his hand was like beet red. And then he left. And I was so scared.
Yeah, he's like,
he never spoke of this again.
I would have killed him. That's what he was thinking. I'll kill him.
He never spoke of this again. It was like a thing that never like came back up. He never spanked me again. I definitely never did something like that again. And it was a moment that I'll never forget about, like, you know, that I could do something not cool like that to my brother, that he would take a punishment, and then when the punishment came for me for what I did, I like, in a way, kind of like put it back on my dad. And so I don't know what that brings up, like the kind of crazy that was going on. But it's something, yeah. So hearing that story, like, how crazy am I, bro?
You were a kid, I haven't had many times with my dad where it was like that. One time that he grabbed me, right, and said some shit to me and scared the shit out of me. One time, because he thought he had this girl, right? He had a girl over the house, and I was upstairs sleeping, and he went outside and walked her outside, and he locked himself out the house.
Oh,
right.
And you were upstairs sleeping.
I'm upstairs sleeping, so I guess he ring the doorbell. I ain't wake up.
Oh.
So he did whatever he had to do to get in the house, and he thought that I was like on some hater stuff, like I liked the girl, so I was locking him out of the house on some weird stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, and I confronted him about this like several times in my life as an adult, bro, just to tell him how much of a hater he is. Because like I would never even think some weird stuff like that, but you know, that's my dad. You know, my dad was like my dad and my homeboy because I didn't have a mom. He was like my dad, my brother, and my homeboy. So it's he was struggling with alcoholism, and it's like in ways I took care of him many times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a different upbringing, man, for sure. But I wouldn't trade it for anything at this point. Like I would not be who I am if it weren't for those experiences. I wouldn't be able to deal with the things that I'm prepared to deal with head up at any given time if I was not raised in that way.
Yeah, understood. So have you thought about some of these things that we went through as kids and what was taught to us, and then what we're choosing to pass down to our children?
Yeah, I'm looking at it from a do better than stance.
I think everybody does that as parents, though. Everybody
but
wants to do better. Does that mean they actually do, though?
So, like, here's what I don't know. Does everybody even have that sentiment of do better? Because some people had really good upbringings with really good parents. So there is no do better. It's mimic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's don't be doing crazy stuff in front of my kid. Don't tell crazy stories in front of my kid. Don't have other grown folks around drinking or doing stuff in front of my kid that I don't do in front of my kid. Let him talk. Let him talk as much as he wants to talk. Let him talk through stuff.
That's definitely something that I deploy as well.
But I also do believe, though, that there is this. I'm never going to tell you something wrong for you. So when I tell you to do something, you do it. If you want to question it, you can question it. But when I say move, you move now. Because it might just save your life. When we have a lot of freedoms that we give kids in terms of questioning things, it might go too far that they feel like they need to question everything. And you literally might be like, yo, move now. And they don't move and die.
Then they're going to sit there and question it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something that I'm worried about with my daughter is like it gets to a point where now she's 15. So we're in this scenario where, I raised her to be a critical thinker. Yeah. I raised her to talk at me, right? To question things, just like your dad did you, right?
Yeah.
But now there's an aspect of she's 15 and she's pretty smart. She's doing the whole debate thing, and she's like, well, anything you say is up for potential debate. And there's an aspect of, like, in the real world, too, it's like, and sometimes I don't want to have a debate on this. I want to tell you something and have you go, okay, Dad, and then move forward. And just like that, there's times where she just wants me to listen. She doesn't want me to solve her problem. She just wants to talk. And it's hard for me to know when those times are that she just wants to talk and not have me give feedback or tell her how I think she could solve her problem.
I think it would be helpful if maybe that, like, upon entry, like, either of you state that, you know, Dad, I got something that's on my chest, but I really just need you to listen this
Man,
time.
that would be very helpful on my end.
Or, you know, even from your end, you know, the same thing, you know.
So I can let her know.
There's something that I really need to tell you, but I need this. Look, if this is not up for debate, okay, please this, you know? So it's like, look, we don't even have to get there and start the debating and questioning. Like, on this one, look, I really just need you to do this, okay?
Yeah, put your stuff down on a schedule and share it amongst your family group. Not up for debate. So, is culture real or manufactured?
Both.
So, how are social media and the algorithms shaping culture faster than like tradition? Tradition shaped culture, right?
Spreading the awareness, you know, faster through social media, visibility, right?
But are we losing the family legacy type aspect since we're not getting together and eating together? That's where a lot of the stuff happened for my family, you know.
So when you say culture, what do you mean specifically? So when I hear culture, I think about different ethnicities and different influence that those ethnicities have from the places that they come from in the world.
Yeah, I think that's something. And then it's also like your family legacy, right? Your ancestral type wisdom, right? The stuff that for me, you know, the fact that my family has had the Hubcap Ranch, right? And it's been in our family for over 80 years. And, you know, my great-grandfather got this place. So his children, my grandfather, and all his brothers and sisters and all their friends and they all went there. And then his kids went there, who was my mom's generation. And then I went there and all my generation. And then my kid goes there with all that generation. It's like so many generations deep. And by going there, just showing up at this place gives us the opportunity to tell the stories, to do the things like fishing at the pond, like one of our prior episodes we talked about the bass pond.
We need to go up there, man.
Yeah, and you know, I remember my grandfather and my father teaching myself and my brother how to shoot a bow and arrow, to shoot a gun, how to be safe doing these things, right? And then. And my father telling me that he learned a lot of this by going up to the ranch. And that was my father telling me this, right? And then for me, knowing that I've done the same thing with my daughter and brought her up there and showed her, and that's where she shot her first gun.
That's tradition.
That's tradition, right? And but now it's a little bit different, right? Things are changing. It's like you know, in the time since my daughter was born and where we are now it's like, well, you have a video. You create a TikTok reel.
Well, if you look at the time period, even like before us, like our people were like America. You got to remember, America is not old.
It's a couple hundred years old.
Yeah, but in relative time to the rest of the world, man, it's very young. So like you could see in our lifetime all these different changes. So if you observe the amount of people that there are now versus when we were young, period, it's an astronomical amount more of people. So you gotta look at certain things that you gotta take under consideration, right? The Industrial Revolution, right? With the Industrial Revolution went out of, you know, like old style like farming and like things started being mass produced, right? It's like more faster, right? That's what it was all about, right? So it's like we're in a certain place in time now where it's like I don't know, man.
No, everything changed.
Yeah, like nobody's like when my dad was a kid, like before he was like, people were like hunting for food, bruh.
Yeah.
Like, and to put it in their freezers and stuff. So like,
no, that's
everybody's kid needed to learn how to shoot, right? Like it was necessary for like boys to become Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and all that stuff. Like people needed to learn how to live, bro. Like, you know, like, but like the need for certain things has diminished over time because of availability.
Yeah, this is a big thing. For instance, in, you know, my parents or our parents' culture, like you said, yeah, my dad used to hunt. He used to go get deer, fish, get fish. That was the food that got put on our table, right? I got to share in that by going hunting with my father, right? But my daughter has never experienced that. She probably never will, right?
Unless she wants to.
Yeah, unless she wants to, which, I mean, I'm not sure that that's a thing in her
Have you
mind.
ever asked?
No. Maybe she'll look back and see this video and be like, Dad, you know what? I'd like to go and, you know, unalive a duck.
Because the thing is, though, bro.
And pluck the duck.
Girls be
and
getting
gut
down.
the duck,
Girls be getting down, bro. That's why they got that. That's why they got that pink real tree, brother. They be out there getting it in. Them girls be out there.
The pink real tree camo.
You damn right. Them girls be out there shooting in bows. And the girls are the hardest noodlers there are.
Oh, I know that.
The girls are the hardest noodlers there are. They be getting up in there. They stick their arm up in there. And they stick their arm up in there, bro. Next thing you know, they under the water. You like, yo, where'd she go? Next thing you know, she coming up with a catfish this big.
I know. That's the craziest
with
thing.
her arm in the mouth, like, yeah.
Would you do that?
Hell yeah.
Man.
It's just a catfish, bro.
That thing's crazy, bro. I've seen that.
I'll be more worried about snakes in the water. Yeah.
So, but back to the question, is it real or manufactured? Like the youth of today, they see the videos that show that, just like
what
you
it
said.
is, brother, what it is.
Are they having their family take them out there and doing these things?
All of these different cultures, bro, and all of these different traditions on all of these different levels with all of these different people comprise America. It's our differences that make us just as much as the things we share in common that make us America.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we different. That's why we that melting pot, right, that they talk about. The great experiment. You know what I mean? So it's like, it can't be bottled as simply as like, is it really, yeah, it's real, bro.
Yeah, it's real.
It's very real.
But it's also somewhat manufactured based on the new stuff that comes up. Just like you said, the Industrial Revolution came. All of a sudden, there was machines that did these things. Now there's all this technology.
With these changes that come about, we create new traditions.
Yeah. So now, instead of us going out and spending time in nature or going hunting and doing these things, I will sit down and watch The Walking Dead with my daughter. And this is our
And that's
experience.
fine. That's fine, but like again, like life is not permitting things in the same way as it was at that time either, because life is moving faster.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, if we want to go hunt some monster whitetail, we're gonna have to fly to Montana. We're gonna have to like make a whole like trip out. This is gonna have to be a whole thing. Like, not everyone is able.
Well, and you have to get
we got basic
deer tag. You gotta it's a
license,
whole process.
yeah,
all
but
this stuff.
We got basic life struggles, like just like making it through day to day, like for some people that's like but dude,
the struggles are over. We don't struggle like we once did.
For who?
We used to struggle for a meal, bro.
Yo,
now they got a processed meal.
You're speaking only on behalf. You only speaking from where you coming from, not understanding that the rest of the country, hey, bro, a lot of people are struggling, bro. A lot of people are going through stuff.
I know there's struggle, but what I'm saying, the struggle is not the same as it was 100 years ago.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about specifically being able to take a trip to go hunting. Like everybody ain't able. Everybody can't afford a ticket to fly to Montana to do something like that.
Nobody wants to do that.
I don't agree with that.
The fact of the matter is, today's world, people are like, they literally see a dead animal. They see a chicken that is not put into a plastic wrapper.
Bro, I got a kid
and served up.
I got a kid that lives one block over from me. I'll introduce you to him. His name is Cameron. Shout out Cameron. Cameron is like barely 20. Yeah, Cameron got pictures. Yeah, Cameron hunting mountain lions, bro. Cameron hunting anything and everything that walks, eats, and breathes. He's killing it, bro. And like a lot of people, there's like, all right, put it like this.
He is the exception.
It's not an exception. I think you have I think your perception is very California, right? Without understanding, all over the country, these boys is hunting. That's why I know there's people that that's why Realtree's selling so well. You know what I'm saying? That's why Bass Pro Shops is not just for fishing, it's strong for hunting too. Shields, all of that stuff. This stuff it ain't doing bad. Those people are doing good because people are still out here getting that in. You just not into it.
There's a lot of fake fronting going on there, bro.
Oh,
I'm just telling you. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of people that walk around with Realtree camo and a lot of this. But
so I grew up. Let me tell you this. Here's what when I grew up. My dad is a fisherman, but he's obsessed with fishing. So I grew up watching fishing shows and hunting shows, right? And all of those shows were on like TNT and TBS, right? Which are networks from Ted Turner, right? Mm-hmm. Which is some Southern state. Yeah, them boys are out there. They get it in on a whole nother level. California and even Oregon, they hunt like hell up there. But like over here, we just don't hunt as much in California because of those people that we talking about. They're gonna call PETA on you.
Oh yeah, I got family members that have gotten in trouble for just going out and hunting. Yeah,
I would like to bring somebody up from the audience. I'm looking for a member here. No? So, Bella, I can't believe how good you look. You got so slender.
Oh, thanks.
Is this all from swimming?
No.
What else have you been doing?
I don't know. In the beginning of the year, I just went to Tahoe a lot. And then
Do you ski or snowboard when you go, or?
Yeah, but I'm talking about in the summer. The beginning of the school year.
What do you guys do up there in the summer? I've never been to Tahoe before. I've been to Tahoe once, but I've never been to the actual lake before.
Oh. Well, we just go to the lake and are there for the whole day. And I go paddleboarding.
Do you bring friends with you, or you only go with your dad, or what?
Yeah, I usually bring a friend with me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go up there. I went up there one time to Tahoe to deliver a wedding ring to somebody. And when I delivered that wedding ring to this person, they asked me to sit down and stay at dinner with them because he was proposing to this girl. Mm-hmm. And she was there. I don't know him either. Somebody asked me as a favor to drive up to Lake Tahoe to drop off a wedding ring because this guy was going to propose to this girl at a dinner. So when I get to the dinner, it's the guy, the girl, and her 3 kids, right? And the guy that gave me the ring to deliver it, he was there too. So let me tell you about that guy. When I went to meet him to pick up the ring, he's like, yeah, come meet me on the side of the road, blah, 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 right? I was like, okay, I don't know him, right? So I go meet him on the side of the road. He pulls up in a Jaguar, brand new. He reaches out of the window with a blue Tiffany & Co. box, passes it to me and says, I told him not to ask this girl to marry him.
Wait.
I grabbed the box and I said, what? He was like, I told this guy not to ask this girl to marry him because he's currently in a divorce and I'm his lawyer. I was like, what? So I was like, all right. So I took the ring. Like I said, I'm at the dinner. I give him the ring. He proposes to the girl. I want to leave. And he's like, I've been hearing about you for so long. Please stay. I said, I can't stay. This is your guys' moment. Please, you guys, I'll see you when you get back to the bay. He's there like, no, we insist. Just stay. So I stay with them and I drink wine with them all night long. And at some point, he goes to the girl. She said yes, right? Mm-hmm. He looks to her. He goes, ooh, babe, I know. Let's hook him up with your sister. Right? And then he leans over the table and goes, and she's rich. I was like, okay, hook me up with his sister. And that's my wife.
Really?
Yeah. That's the only time I've been to Lake Tahoe. True story. It was snowing up there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I would like to go back up there. I would like to go to Lake Tahoe. Like, I want to ride bikes in the summer. Like on the, the snow where you go, they let bikes go down that. And I want to do that.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, what do you think about what we was talking about with your dad about the different ways of communicating and like kind of giving each other small cues before starting saying something if you know that's kind of what you want. If you know like you're not looking to be in a necessarily a conversation, right? That's a two-way. You like kind of want to just get it out. What do you think about that?
I think you don't always necessarily know what you want until it's already almost too late to tell the person.
I agree. I get into that stuff all the time because I think a lot of times when I start talking, I don't want anybody to say anything. Mm-hmm. I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
But but I think he's very similar like to my wife where it's like he's like a person that like always trying to find a solution to a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, "Oh, you're telling me this? Oh, I need to find out a solution to the problem." Which is great, but that's not always what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You got any ideas onto how to make it better and more effective in communication or something? Do you have anything in mind?
I don't know, talking in a good tone.
Yeah, he gets a little risen, right? When his chest comes out, right? Yeah. And he does this, he gets this posture about him. Mm-hmm. And he does that thing, right? Look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's working on that though. He's getting better about it. We work on that through like some work that we do like in our work, like when we're like having meetings, trying to figure out stuff sometimes. Like, yeah, there's stuff that we all need to work on.
Yeah.
But it's always because it comes from a good place, and it's just like, it's like he's like it's like a reflex for him. You know what I'm saying? To like, boom, want to stand up like that. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't work. So it's
I
not
agree with that. So now I am 43 years old, and I know him my whole life, and like I have patience, so I can sit there, let him do it, and not even say nothing to him. I might not even say nothing to him in this conversation. I might mention it to him later, or I might wait till he's done. Yeah, but when you do, just let him do it after he receives it well. You know what I mean? If you're not confronting him while he's doing it, it works out much better.
You're videoing me.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. I've been learning that. That's why I just let him yell at me, and then just say okay. And then he gets annoyed when I say okay.
I bet. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
Ask her about the national anthem experience.
No.
The national anthem experience.
Tell that story.
Were you asked to sing the national anthem?
Well, my coach wanted someone on our team to sing it, and nobody is a singer on my team, and all my friends.
Swim team.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all my friends wanted me to do it too. And I was going to do it, but I didn't end up doing it.
Why did you not do it?
Because I didn't tell my coach early enough that I was going to do it.
Oh.
And then it was senior night, so these seniors said that they could do it. And, like, I thought that they actually wanted to, but they just were, like, joking around. Which is okay, but also, like, I could have
Also
actually
not,
done
right?
it. Yeah.
How long have you been singing?
Well, I haven't been singing, like, actually, but, like, I guess I've been singing, like, my whole life.
Have you ever sang the national anthem?
Yes.
You have.
Yeah, at a River Cats game.
Oh, you sang one. You've actually sang a national anthem.
Yeah, but it was with my choir in 6th grade.
Okay. Never a solo.
No.
Okay. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have like a desire to do it? Like, how comfortable are you with singing in front of people?
I mean, I've never really. I mean, I guess I have, but haven't really been in a situation where I would do that.
Would you want to?
It depends.
At some point, maybe?
Probably, yeah.
You know, I'll tell you, like, my kid, right? He, you know, Nyan.
Mm-hmm.
He says he does not like to compete, but he likes to win. So, like,
I understand that.
I've had a couple things in my life where I was taught a certain way and I thought certain things was right or I thought certain things was cool, and I went through my whole life not doing them, and now I feel like I wish I would have. You know what I'm saying? And one thing I will tell you is try not to let that happen to you in your life. Don't be scared of doing something one time. You do it one time, at least you did it, and you know if you want to do it again or not. And you will not have that feeling that I have of like, I wish I would have did that because now I don't know if I can do it. You don't want that feeling.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm learning.
Seize the moment.
Carpe diem.
What does that mean?
It is a famous Latin phrase. It means seize the day.
Mm-hmm.
CARPEDIEM. Yeah. Yeah. But thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I know it was impromptu and this is not something you were ready for. So you did really good.
Thank you.
I got one question for you, Bill.
What?
What is something that you see yourself doing, like your first year in high school? You're almost done with your first year. See yourself at the end of high school where you'll be like completed. What's one thing that you're like, this is where I see myself at the end of high school, and something that I will have done and completed?
Probably, hopefully going to state in debate with my friend.
Really?
That's a good one. Dude.
Probably, yeah. I don't know.
Does debate have seasons?
It's like the whole year.
It's year round.
Not the whole, like, it starts in the beginning of the year and then it, like, ends around right now.
What do you guys debate, though?
Different, it's like topics that are happening in the world. Like, the last debate was about AI. And if, like, AGI, like, the artificial general intelligence, so it's like the emotional intelligence is, good or something, basically like that.
That's very interesting.
Hmm. And I debated the right to housing. Wait, no, I did that in my class. I did living wage. I debated on living wage.
So you guys are pretty much debating national topics.
Yeah.
Okay.
But more so in the United States.
This is national.
National?
Within the United States,
Oh.
it's national. I mean nation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right on.
What's your favorite sport?
Swim?
Swim? Out of all the sports because you've done.
Oh,
almost
volleyball.
everyone. Volleyball.
Are you gonna play in the next season in volleyball?
I don't.
You got tall. You look like you look kind of
Did
like.
not get tall.
You gotta remember, like
You're funny.
the last time I saw you, you didn't look like that.
Yeah, and that was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, you were little. And now you're all twiggy.
No.
You got like an athlete's body now.
That's good.
Yeah.
I might just go to the gym and swim
Okay.
out of season
Nothing wrong with that.
because I'm going to be doing a lot of academics.
You think you want to go do some lifeguard training?
That sounds like a great idea.
I used to train with the lifeguards over there in Davie, Florida. It's fun.
Mm.
It'll be good for you.
What are you most excited for about the summer?
Going to the water?
To the water.
Yeah, because I'm going to go to the beach, but really Tahoe, and going paddleboarding with my friends.
What about your dog?
My dog? Yeah.
You got to bring Boba.
Oh, yeah, teaching her how to paddleboard.
John's breaking down, guys.
Okay.
John? Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Bella, for coming
Yeah.
up and talking.
Could you put your leg up and sit and let me get a really good picture that includes the shoes and everything.
I never thought I'd see Bella up here with me.
There you go. That's better.
Maybe you should co-host with me one time, Bella.
Oh, you guys should interview me, actually.
I don't want to talk about you.
All right, good.
You're not going to post any of those, right?
Of course you
No, do not, Dada. That'd be so embarrassing. Please don't.
So
Your dad's a
you
poor-
don't even have social media.
Your dad's a poor liar.
You don't even have
It's
social media.